Well, this match really interesting. All the matches and every one we could get would be a great one. And she said lay off, and she got the kick on the 4. That's a big start for her compared to the way she started the previous match.
Well, she's going to have a fast start, because I think she is bowling the player who is not only the hottest player on any tour around the world right now, but this show is tailor-made for her. You have 4 players playing to the right, breaking the lanes down for her. She is able to get left and create more room than the rest of them.
And no 10-pin that time. Kelly won the 2010 USBC Queens, defeating Tennille Milligan 232 to 188. Kelly came from the first match in that tournament. What about some keys for Kelly to emerge here?
Well, really, she just needs to play to her strengths. Like I said, everyone's playing to the right of her. She'll get to do exactly what she likes to do. Get in and hook it a little bit, and she just needs to carry. If she can carry right now, there's no way to stop her.
No problem on that. Of course, Kelly made a national name for herself with her victory in the 2010 Tournament of Champions, the first woman ever to win on the PBA Tour.
I remember that.
Yes, you do. And I wasn't even going to bring that up, but since you volunteered, yes. That was Chris Barnes, who was the runner-up in that match. 2-time Queens champion, 2-time runner-up. And she won her first pro title in this tournament in 2003. Turn there, and unless she gets a big break, and she does not, and all of a sudden Kelly is looking at an open frame here in the second.
Boy, a terrible break there. She is much further left than everyone else, a little bit softer with her speed, and she's trying to catch it. This one just gets a little too far down lane, tries to make up the ground, and this longer pattern with all that oil, it's hard to get it to complete that move through them.
Would a little more speed have helped her there?
No, probably a little bit less, actually. A little more time for it to get back through the pins. A little more, and it might have blown by it completely and left a 2-8-10.
So an early opening for Dorin-Ballard. Runner-up in this event last year, lost to Tammy Boomershine. Tammy threw up a 269 to defeat Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, who shot a very fine 225, but on that day it wasn't enough.
Come on.
A lot of stubborn 10-pins in this house.
Well, this is a perfect U.S. Open pattern here. The lanes are hard, the scores are low, shot making is at a premium, and even the smallest of mistakes are penalized by either 9 or, in Kelly's case, 8.
But like any U.S. Open, you want it to be a tough championship.
Absolutely. You wouldn't want it any other way. The players that persevere, shot make, and play the best win.
Well, this was quite a day on the campus of the International Training and Research Center. This afternoon, the USBC Hall of Fame added 4 more members. Marshall Holman, Kim Terrell-Kearney, inducted in the Superior Performance category. We will talk to them later. John Handegard and Betty Barnes were inducted in the Veterans and Meritorious Service categories. We congratulate all the inductees on their great achievements in the sport of bowling. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard stuck with a ringing 10 that time. There's Marshall. Boy, did I love watching him on TV. He was fun.
You never knew what you were going to get.
Our statistician's not so. Hidell Ballard just says, what do you mean you liked him on TV? But yeah, he was something else. He was
my favorite to watch growing up.
Always entertaining. Win or lose, it was a show.
All right.
The Medford Meteor, Marshall Holman.
Lane's going through just a little bit of transition again. Carolyn's having to figure out a way to go through the pins as the oil is carried down a little further. The fronts are starting to hook a little bit more. Kelly's just got to get her ball to go through the pins. I expect her to move just a little bit right, roll it a little bit more so that the ball doesn't get behind the head pin and leave flat 10 or 7-10.
Just like that, in other words.
Yeah, basically.
Behind fierce defense and clutch shooting, the Celtics dominated Game 5, taking a 3-2 series lead. Now with their backs against the wall, King James and the Cavs look to fight off elimination and force the series back to Cleveland for a 7th game. The NBA playoffs, Cavaliers Celtics on ESPN and ESPN3.com Thursday at 8 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with Kia NBA Shoot-Around. If we want to talk hoops, how about 12-year NBA vet Oliver Miller, who is here with us tonight, who paid his way to watch the qualifying in Fort Worth at City View Lanes.
One time.
And he saw Kelly Kulick go 13 and 11 in match play and earn the 2nd seed.
Great shot here, and that's exactly what she's done. She's moved just a little bit more right. She's not trying to circle it as much. She's trying to go a little more end over end. That's changed her pin carry. This time, the pins go sideways. They hit each other instead of the 5-pin going by the 7.
Wow, another ringing 10. That, to me, Chris, and you're welcome to disagree, and I know you would, looked like a really good shot.
Yeah, but this time I can't even disagree with you.
Sorry about that.
It's an excellent, excellent move off of a little bit of a flat 10 last time. This time she throws it, does exactly what she wants to do. I don't blame you. 3 in a row. I mean, she hasn't made a bad shot, even anything remotely resembling a bad shot yet. I think her next move is going to have to be to loft it just a little bit, create and save just a little bit more energy going down the lane.
Oh, and an equipment malfunction with her wristwatch.
Promise she didn't hit anything while we weren't watching.
So they restart the 25-second shot clock. And the clock is just to the bowler's right. Would have been their peripheral vision. They have 25 seconds to get off a shot. If they don't, they are warned for the first violation and fined after that. Before the United States Bowling Congress, it certainly has been an incredible 3 weeks of bowling. First, Kelly Kulick adds to her stellar reputation by advancing all the way up the stepladder to win the USBC Queens. She defeated Tennille Milligan in the championship match, 232 to 188 over Tennille, to capture her 2nd Queens title. Then last week, 2 more champions were crowned, this time on the collegiate level. In the women's division, Weber International won its first intercollegiate title, defeating McKendree. While on the men's side, it was deja vu all over again. Wichita State won for a 10th title as a 10-pin remains for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard to knock down.
A very frustrating game for Carolyn so far. She's made 5 great shots. She's hit her target each time. She's getting forced a little bit further left on the lane. Now her ball's picking up sooner, hitting a little flatter. She's having a hard time getting the 10-pin out. She's going to have to make a move. She can either get around it a little bit and create some tilt down lane, but that has not been a great move this week. The secondary move for Carolyn, and one she's really good at, is getting a little bit of loft and creating some distance and saving energy that way. I expect her to do that first.
So Kelly Kulick off a double. Now you saw her experience with Dorin-Ballard in the match play was not a pleasant one for Kelly, as Carolyn threw a 246 on her. And 7-pin will stay.
It's too long. It's too long.
You can hear her say it's too long. What does she mean there?
Well, she's absolutely right. Her ball is getting too far down the lane. This is the same thing that happened in the second frame. It's getting too far down the lane before it's making its break. It needs to pick up a little bit sooner, probably about 2 to 3 feet sooner. That will get the ball to go through the pins and drive that 10-pin out.
No problem uncovering the 7, and this match is just about even. Well, we've shown you some of the finishers 6 through 18. The other who cashed here, 19 through 24, including the Hall of Famer, Kim Terrell-Kearney, had a great tournament.
And 2 more Singapore players who were here at the training center last week. Both made the top 24. Jazreel Tan from Wichita State and Geraldine Ng, who also had a nice Queens performance.
Yeah, they stayed in the Texas area, moving from El Paso here to Arlington area. Practiced and trained here at the ITRC. Now, one of the things you've talked about, and we've talked about a few times on these shows, the conditions here obviously are a little bit different. You have television lights, warm things up. What does that do as the show goes on, the lights and the conditions around here?
Well, throughout the week anyway, we've seen with 25 units of oil in the lane that is carried down very quickly, and it's made it difficult to carry. That 39-foot pattern has become a 45-foot pattern relatively quick. With the lights, it gets even thinner. It's just like car oil. It travels even faster. It's making it even more difficult to carry tonight.
Well, now, running out of real estate. It counts.